In this video, we're going to show you how to install brake calipers on your Jeep Grand Cherokee located behind your front wheels. Using a 22mm socket, loosen and remove the lug nuts. Once you have the lug nuts removed, grab the wheel, remove it, and set it aside. Now to remove our brake caliper component here, there's going to be two slide pins we need to remove. There's one on the top here, and there's one on the bottom. Now, normally these would have the plastic cap covering the Allen bolt inside here, like the bottom does, but our top one is torn and the cap is missing. If you have the caps, just simply use a small pick. Go ahead, work that in there and pop that cap out. That's going to expose the Allen key on the inside. We want to use a number 11 Allen key on these here. Go ahead and spin that right out and do the same for the top. You want to be careful when removing both of these here. The caliper will be loose, however, the pads should be holding that in place. But you want to make sure that the caliper doesn't fall off. Now, it's not necessary that you remove the slide pins. They can stay inside the rubber sleeve if you want. We are going to remove ours, so we can go ahead and put a little bit of grease on those there. So remove that and set it aside. Now on our flex line right here, we have our ABS wire attached. We want to go ahead and remove the rubber points here from the retainer. Don't pull on the wires. You want to go ahead and compress the little clips here, push those in, and then pull that out by the rubber. Sometimes you can just use your fingers and pop that apart. You can use a pick sometimes to do that. And then pull this out here. Remember, don't pull on the wire. You can grab that rubber and just gently kind of twist that out of the retainer. Set that aside. On the outside of the brake caliper, we have this retainer right here. You can use a pry bar or a small screwdriver. I want to go ahead and dislodge the clips here. Use that pry bar and just kind of work that off there. We're going to get and secure this caliper so it's not hanging on this flex hose here. Go ahead and grab the outboard brake pad. Now the inboard brake pad may be still there, but ours came off with the brake caliper itself. So be aware that you're going to have an inboard pad and an outboard pad. We're going to remove our brake caliper bracket. There are two bolts, 21mm, one up top, one on the bottom. You can use an impact wrench if you have one available. Go ahead and set that bolt aside. And when you remove the upper, you need to hold on to the caliper bracket because once you remove that, this is going to fall off and there's a possibility that rotor can fall off. So hold everything in place. Now there is another way you could do this. Simply put one lug nut on one of the wheel studs on the outside and that'll hold everything or hold the rotor in place, but it won't hold the caliper bracket in place. Take the bracket off. Now remove this off of our hook here. I want to position this as if we were to put this back on. And we're going to use our 15 millimeter to go ahead and loosen and remove this banjo bolt right here. Now we have a catch can underneath. This is going to catch the brake fluid that comes out of the hose as well as the caliper. Go ahead and pop this off. Now on the line itself, there's going to be a copper washer on this side. Go ahead and pop that off and dispose of that. Flip this over. There's going to be a bolt and a copper washer on this side as well. Be sure to remove that. We want to take our new bolt with the copper washer on it. Feed that through. Put the copper washer on the other side. Take the caliper, line this up, and thread that into the back side. Using our 12 millimeter socket, I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down. Then I want to go ahead and hang this again. Install your caliper bracket. Now with this still pivoting, what we're going to want to do is put a little bit of grease or silicone paste on the slides. I'm just going to put a little bit of grease there, and then up top. Don't get any on your rotor. At this point here, we can go ahead and get that lower bolt installed. You take our new pad here with our little spring clips, and you want to pop those into the pistons. I'm going to take our outboard pad, fit that into place, set it in. Now we can take our caliper with our pad installed, line this up, and slide this in. With this in place, we can install the two slide pins on the upper and lower portion of our caliper. Now we have our slide pin here. We put some grease on that. I want to go ahead and insert that, and we're going to start to thread that into our caliper bracket. Let's go ahead and do the same for the top. Now that we have these started, we'll go ahead and grab our ratchet and snug those down. And go ahead and snug down our caliper bracket bolts. Torque down our slide pin bolts to 41 foot-pounds. Torque down our caliper to knuckle bolts to 148 foot-pounds. Install the plastic plugs on the slide pin boots. I'm going to take our bracket here. I'm going to install this into the hole. Make sure that it's flush on both ends and it's locked into place. Get to remove the lug nut off of the rotor. Install the ABS wire. Push that into the retainer here. Push it into their little retainer clips. Press that little retaining tab into the back of the knuckle. Go ahead and remove the cap. And over here, we're going to go ahead and remove our bleeder cap. Your vehicle may or may not have this. Pop that off. We're going to use our 10mm socket. We want to go ahead and we're going to use that to open up our bleeder screw. Now before we do this, we have someone inside the vehicle. They're going to go ahead and pump up that brake pedal and hold it. Now that's going to be 3 to 4 pumps. They're going to hold constant pressure. We're going to crack open the bleeder screw here. And we're going to put on our bleeder hose here going into our little reservoir. You can have a bucket or a container underneath to catch that fluid as it comes out. We're going to repeat this process until we have a steady stream of fluid with no air bubbles. Go ahead and pump it up. Pump. Perfect. We have no air bubbles there. Close that up. And we're going to remove our hose here. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses. Wipe down the residual. Put our cap on. Go ahead and straighten out the wheel. At this point here, we're going to go ahead and check the reservoir for the last time for the fluid level. After replacing your brake calipers, you want to go ahead and make sure that your fluid level is up to par here. You want to go ahead and open this up. It's going to be a little rubber boot, and you can see that it had popped out. Just go ahead and push that back in. Set that aside. Now on the side of our reservoir, we have a max line and a min line. You can clearly see that we lost some fluid here. You want to go ahead and take the appropriate brake fluid and go ahead and fill that up to that full line. And go ahead and cap that. Now that we're done bleeding the brakes, you want to go ahead and install your wheels. Go ahead and install your wheel. Get our lug nuts all started by hand first. Once we have all these on, we'll go ahead and snug them down. Now we want to go ahead and torque down our lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.